What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, tender, smoky, juicy, amazing beef tongue tacos with a homemade roasted salsa verde. Coming up. This is a beef tongue. Pat it dry. And what I got here is exactly what it sounds like, the tongue of a cow. And admittedly, it's a pretty gnarly looking weird piece of meat, but it is a piece of meat nonetheless. And if you've never had it before, it cooks up really well as a barbecue cut. It comes out really soft, really tender, pretty fatty, and therefore nice and juicy. And it's not as weird as you may think. But much like the oxtails we cooked last week, this was once a throwaway cut that was super cheap, but people figured out how to cook it. It's super tasty, and now cow tongues are also very expensive, which is pretty annoying. But they're a fun cook to do every now and then. I haven't cooked one of these in years. I think I've only done one on the channel, and that was the last time I ate one of these things, and that was like 4 years ago. So it's time to take another look at it. And most common around these parts, if you see beef tongue on a menu, it is in the form of lengua tacos at most Mexican restaurants, and they are super tasty, and that's what we're making today. But beef tongue is a pretty unique cut because it's got this really thick membrane running all the way down the palate on top, and we definitely don't want to eat that. Very thick, kind of leathery. So you could go through with a knife and try and peel this off now, but it's a big pain in the butt. You're likely going to mangle this piece of meat before you get it off, and once it's cooked, it peels off nice and easily. So typically at this stage in most beef tongue recipes, you would see this thing boiled or simmered in some water for several hours until it's cooked through nice and tender. Then you would pull it out, remove the membrane, and either chop it up or pull it or sear it or do whatever it is you're gonna do. But for me, I don't really like boiling meat. I feel like you just lose a lot of the beefy flavor into the water because that is how you make beef stock. So what I did last time, and what we used to do at Leroy and Lewis when we would cook these, is I confit it first in beef tallow, which made it nice and tender, gave it some wonderful beefy flavor, and accomplished the same goal where we could pull that membrane off. But today I'm going to do something a little bit differently, and that is I'm going to sous vide it with a little bit of beef tallow in the wrap and let it go overnight. And that should accomplish all the same things without having to use, a gallon of beef tallow. But if you've got it on hand, might as well use it. And the sous vide should make sure this thing is fully cooked through and nice and tender. And typically with beef tongue, I would go through at this point and remove all this extra fat and kind of trim this thing up a little bit. But today I think I'm going to leave this all on because all this fat will just help render in the sous vide overnight. And then tomorrow when I pull it out, that's when I'll give it a once over and cut off anything that didn't render down or that's hanging off and looking weird. So right now, I'm gonna pop this bad Larry into a vac seal bag. And just like that, out of the vac sealer, looking good. I sealed it like 47 times because I really don't want this leaking in the water bath, and it is a pretty bulbous thing. I'm a little concerned that it's gonna cook in this weird shape instead of stretched out, but I guess we're gonna just have to deal with that. And we are chopping this up for tacos at the end anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But in the wrap, I threw in a couple spoonfuls of some Wagyu beef tallow as well as half of a white onion, and there's some garlic cloves in there as well, just for a little extra flavor. But you can throw whatever you want in there, a cinnamon stick or a star anise pod, or whatever you like. I opted not to put any salt or pepper in there, and that's just because after we peel this thing, we have more access to the meat itself. That's when I'm gonna throw a rub on this, and I didn't want it to be seasoned unevenly. But at this stage, in the sous vide water bath, this goes at 185 degrees, and I'm gonna let it go overnight. Pretty hot, pretty long, but we should end up with a really nice tender piece of beef. So I will see y'all tomorrow. 24 hours later, out of the water bath we come. Oh, that looks gnarly. Not gonna lie to you folks, this looks a little bit worse than it did when it went into the bag, which is saying something because it looked pretty gnarly in the first place. But if you feel it, it's incredibly tender. You can see the give on that. And we should have a lot of flavor because essentially we just confit and braised this thing at the exact same time. There's a lot of liquid in there, which is all the water and juices that came out of the tongue. So we should have a very flavorful, super tender piece of meat. But before we go ahead and pop this open and peel that membrane off, I'm gonna head to the chud shop because we need to make ourselves some salsa. We're making a roasted salsa verde today, so we got some tomatillos, some jalapenos, and an onion chopped up, but we need to roast these off, so let's go fire up the pan. There's a snake in my boot. Got the old chud box here fired up, and today we're gonna be cooking on an open fire style, or Santa Maria style, where we got some logs in there burning. We should have a pretty big fire going, but we're gonna leave the top open the whole time to get some nice wood smoke flavor, and of course that char and a little direct heat flavor as well. So on the pit we go with our little green tomatillos, sticky little guys, as well as half a white onion, and 4 jalapenos today. And we're just gonna let these roast away, get some color on them, soften up a little bit. And after about 20 minutes on the grill, these things are looking nice and soft. Got some beautiful color on there all over. Definitely picked up some smoke flavor as well. So off they come. And into a food processor we go. I hope this isn't too spicy, but you never can tell with those jalapenos. Also gonna cut the root end off of this onion. I was just there so it didn't fall apart on the grill, but we don't wanna eat it. Other items going in is the stems from our cilantro, as well as some garlic and some lime juice. 1 nice big pinch of salt, and we blend. Ooh, that is looking and smelling very good, but now we need to taste and adjust. Very roasty. Good kick, not too hot. Needs another little bit of salt. And you could go with some cumin or oregano or chili flakes or whatever you want at this point, but I think we're gonna keep it pretty classic today. Should I add some oil to it to give it a little more body and thickness?
I was thinking making it creamy would be good.
Plenty of options when making a salsa. I do like it when it's a little creamier though.
Yeah, that's really good.
Salt level?
I think it's perfect because you're going to be putting it on salty meat.
That is true. Nice and bright. Gotta love that.
Why does it taste like chud box?
So to add a little more body and richness and more of a velvety mouthfeel, just drizzle in some oil. I'm going with avocado oil just towards the end until it reaches that consistency you're after. And just like that, our lovely roasted salsa verde is done. Beautiful. Coming back to our beef tongue here, I took it out of the bag, dried it off, and yeah, it still looks pretty rough, but I drained everything out of there, which also looks pretty rough. But I did have this in the sous vide for the last few hours, just keeping warm, so it is nice and warm and just incredibly tender. So what we need to do now is try and get this membrane off, which should just peel right off very easily. A lot easier than if this was raw. And discard that, we don't need it. This is oddly satisfying. Bones, you want to get in on this?
You can do it.
Man, that came off so incredibly easily. Definitely easier than last time. I remember getting a knife involved last time. But just look at that meat. It is so incredibly soft. And I should mention, you probably don't need to go 24 hours in sous vide to get this tender. You know, probably just a couple hours would get the job done. Like I said earlier, traditionally it's just simmered for a couple hours until it's tender. But it was really convenient to not have to worry about this thing. But now we need to trim it up a little bit more. And you don't have to trim this up, but there is a lot of this fat and kind of nasty stuff on the bottom, so I'm just gonna go ahead and zip some of that out, but we are chopping this all up in a minute anyway, so not a big deal. Really don't even need a knife, that's super convenient. Just some of this blubbery stuff. And once cleaned up a little bit, looking a little bit better, now is finally time when we can add our seasoning. And of course, you can do whatever you want, but for me, I'm going with some classic SPG. Should give us all the flavor we need. Definitely no need for a binder on this. Top and bottom, and don't forget the sides. But like I keep saying, we're chopping this up, so you could just fire this off and season it once it's all chopped up. Weird. And just because I'm here, might as well hit it with a little secret salt as well, because it might need a little more salt, because it's pretty thick, but it doesn't really need much more pepper. Beautiful. Let's go throw it on the pit. Almost went over the fence. Chud box is still rocking some good temps. Even with the lid open, we're at 300 degrees over here, about 350, 400 over here. And this thing is fully cooked, so really we're just trying to add some more texture and flavor, as well as a little bit of smoke and a crust. So, on we go. And you could shut the lid at this point if you wanted some extra smoke flavor on there, but the chud box isn't really designed from an airflow perspective to handle a lot of smoke, so it'll get really smoky really quickly that way. But I might shut it for a little bit just because it's not going to be on there that long. But we're just going to keep an eye on it and play bucket golf. After about 10 minutes, we're going to take a look at this underside here. Ooh, it's so tender. Get some good color. It smells really good. Get a little smoke and flavor on that side as well. Gotta say, folks, I do love cooking on the chud box like this. Just wide open, flames kissing down below. I got some beautiful color on this thing. Probably got another, I don't know, 10 minutes or so before we pull it off, which gives us a little bit of time for another episode of Bones Tries Something Weird. What's on the menu today, buddy?
Got just the thing.
What do you got there?
We've got hot and spicy braised duck tongue flavor.
Oh, they're Lay's?
Yeah.
Nice. Have some tongue before we eat some tongue.
Yeah.
You ever had a duck tongue before?
No.
I hear it's a delicacy.
I don't know what to expect. It's like fishy.
Yeah, I thought it was fishy. I thought that was a squid on the front, but apparently
nope.
that's what a tongue looks like.
Yep. That's really strange. It's like really hard to describe.
What do they look like? Normal chips, heard.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's pretty
Try
weird.
'em.
Duck tongue flavored chips. It is very fitting. I mean, I don't know what a duck tongue tastes like anyway, so I wouldn't say, oh, that's a duck tongue potato chip. Yeah, that is weird.
It's a very unique flavor. So it must be like duck tongues are unique.
I'm getting kind of like a sesame vibe to it.
Yeah.
Kind of aromatic. Not offensive, which is nice after the escargot the other day.
Oh, terrible.
Do you know what people said in that video? We spent all day making that compound butter.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't put it on the snails.
Yep.
Rookie move. These aren't bad. So it would appear that walking away for like 10 minutes was a pretty bad idea because that's looking a little bit dark, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it because the rest of this thing is looking absolutely beautiful. And a lot of times people at this stage will just chop it up and throw it under a broiler or in a pan. And we're really only gonna get browning on the outside and mix it all together, so having some extra dark bits on there, I'm not mad about. It does smell really good. And just like that, we've got some good color, some good smoky flavor, already nice and incredibly tender. So off the pit it comes. Fresh off the pit, this thing is now looking a little bit better. Still pretty weird looking, but let's get a few slices out of it and see how it came out. Oh, it smells so beefy. It smells honestly a lot like a beef cheek. Nice and tender, pretty fatty, looking juicy. And at this point, you can do whatever you want with this. You can make some slices and serve it like a sliced beef option, but we're gonna cube it up so we can have some tacos. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Feeling nice. Definitely picked up a lot of flavor on that chud box, because it smells really good. Bones, you ever seen the inside of a beef tongue before?
I have.
Oh, okay. It's so tender. It's like a slice of brisket. Boop. Taco time. Corn tortilla goes down. Nice little mound of our smoky tender beef tongue. Loving that crust on there. On top of that, we're gonna go down with some fresh white onions, some of our roasted salsa verde, top that with a little cilantro, and our super simple beef tongue taco is done. But of course, we got more limes at the ready if we need them. And here we are, folks. Honestly, this was a super easy cook. It was completely hands-off for 90% of it, then just a little quick sear at the end. Salsa came together super quickly, and now we've got a big pile of tacos to jump into. Now, before I jump into these tacos, I kind of want to see how this came out just by itself, you know what I mean? Juicy tender. Let's go for it. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, so good. It's super beefy. I keep saying how tender it is. Could use a little more salt, but no off flavors. You know, I know it's a tongue, but it's not like an organ or something like that where it's got funky flavors to it. It just tastes like really tender beef, and it is incredibly beefy. A little extra salt. We'll go for another one. It's so satisfying to eat. It does have a unique texture, unlike any other cut on the cow, which is hard to describe. I can only say spongy, which is very unappealing to hear, but I like it a lot. It's super tasty, and it should work perfectly in a taco, which is how you're most likely gonna see it. Let's go for it. Oh yeah, yep. With the acidity, the little bit of heat in there, more chud box flavor from the salsa. That was fantastic. Ooh, I'm gonna put a little more on there. Boop. Nick, would you like to try a lengua taco?
Absolutely.
Go for the beef first.
Wow.
Not bad, right?
Yeah, that's very flavorful.
Super beefy.
Yeah.
I think cooking in its own juices plus beef tallow for a day
Yep.
really concentrated the flavor.
There's no like gaminess.
I know.
You were worried about that. It's not at all.
I've cooked tongue a few different times, and sometimes it comes out like this where it's just like pure beef.
Yeah.
Other times it does get a little gamey or a little weirdness on it, but that is just pure beef flavor right there.
It almost reminds me of like tri-tip flavor.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah,
why.
I can see that.
Probably because of chud box with the.
Yeah.
cut
Kind of
that
slices up similarly to a tri-tip.
Yep.
Tri-tongue.
All right.
It really does make for the perfect taco meat, though. It was just so tender. Very easy to bite through.
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect beef.
Yeah.
For a taco.
Yeah, like a lot of times with skirt steak or something,
Yeah.
it's gonna pull out.
Yep, you just bite right through this.
Barbacoa, at least where we make it, can be a little bit rich. Where this is, it kind of eats like barbacoa because of how like tender and shreddable it is. But
Yep.
I could eat a lot more of this than straight up barbacoa.
That salsa is also really good.
That sauce is great.
Yeah.
Perfect heat level for me. I'm gonna eat a lot of these.
I feel like it's really light.
Yeah. How would you describe the texture of that meat by itself?
Let me go in again.
I think it's airy.
Yeah,
Like, it's just like-
spongy.
It's not spongy because there's no like bounce back.
Right, right. It's like
But-
cake. It's the consistency
yeah.
of cake.
Angel's food beef.
Camel up. But yeah, for the amount of like beef punch you get, it's really not heavy, which is
Yeah, not at all.
very welcome. Oh yeah, I like that. I haven't had a taco in a minute.
We got the avocado.
Oh yeah, I
Is
did
this
dice
just
it
the
up.
side dish?
Yeah, that's just for you.
Thank you. Salted avocado, I like that.
Oops. That's so good.
Give me another, please.
Boop. I know there's probably a large percentage of the people watching this that will never do this.
Yeah, they should.
Because it just seems so weird.
It does.
But when you make it and you eat it, you experience it.
And when you dice it up, you don't know.
Oh yeah. This is another one of those, make it when you're alone. Because it looked really gross the entire time until you have beef mountain on the table.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop. You want extra salsa. Interesting cook too, how you have to cook it like all the way through before you can season it and sear it and all
Yeah,
that. Like
because you got to pull the tongue membrane off.
Yeah.
Which is really gross to see.
Gross to say as well. No, I'm making more. How does it compare to the duck tongue chips?
This is much better.
And with this very last bite of smoky beef tongue, I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic smoky beef tongue tacos. I highly recommend giving this one a try, especially if you've never had tongue before. It's an interesting cut, and if you're a little bit on the adventurous side, I highly recommend it because it's beefy, it's tasty, and definitely something I'll be making again in the future. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.